Hi friends, welcome to Yogstack English. Thank you for supporting my videos. Actually, I have posted a video yesterday, this 100k applicable to who and who don't have to pay this. So there are a lot of confusions even in my Telugu channel as well. There are so many questions, and some of the viewers have requested me to create a PowerPoint presentation. Means like, they just wanted to see in a visual way that it applicable to whom. Still, I've been receiving so many comments from people who are in India which already have H-1B visa, and some of them are already having a stamp. Some of them are planning to go for a stamping. They are also very confused. So I just made this PowerPoint presentation, and I will try to give you as much as information I can that this 100,000 who will have to pay. Okay, let's start the video, and just we will go to the PowerPoint presentation just step by step. Before we get into the PowerPoint presentation, consider subscribing to my channel. I know a lot of you people are watching, commenting, but you don't even like video and you don't even subscribe to my video. But please, if you give a like, this will reach to some other audience who desperately need some information, because getting information is very tough nowadays. There are so many places they are confusing. Mixed information is going on. So that is the reason I'm just please requesting you to subscribe and just like my videos. Okay, let's now get back to the topic. The first thing in my presentation, so Trump H-1B proclamation, who is affected? There is a FAQ which is released in USCIS website. Based on that FAQ, and another news come out of the CBP, and also the secretary post in X. So these are all combined result, and still there are so many unanswered questions that this is going to apply for who and who not. Okay, so in this particular FAQ, what they have mentioned is this is going to start for the next 2026 people who are applying for the lottery. So that means that if you already have a H-1B visa in 2025, even you're going for a stamping or you are waiting to go for a stamping, it won't applicable to you at all. Okay, so the petition start date is actually from 21st September 2025 to 21st September 2026. This is only valid for 12 months. If they want to extend it, they may extend it, but as of now what we know is this will expire on 21st September 2026. So anybody applying for H-1B in between these days will be affected this rule, and I will tell you whether the students will be affected or the other H-1B holders will be affected. So the first one mainly who will be affected is actually individuals outside the United States. Most of the cases, the individuals who are living outside the United States will be affected. That's because this is not a rule for the H-1B petition. This is a rule for the entry permit. Once you got your stamping on your passport, if you then decide to travel to United States, then you will have to show the bond or pay or whichever way they want to consider it. Then your employer has to release that 100,000 to the government. They will then allow you into the country, because this proclamation is based on the border protection, mainly that Trump has control on the border, right? So that is the reason they made this as a proclamation, so that even anybody coming into the country can be controlled, because the president has a control on the border. So every individual who is in outside USA from now, means from the date 21st September, even with these other cap exempt petitions as well, anyone applying for H-1B petition will be affected. Okay, that you have to remember. So the next important people who are affecting is actually applicants in the 2026 H-1B lottery. Yeah, if anybody, this is where the big confusion causes actually. So even attorneys couldn't understand as well. Is it with the petition or is it with the entry to United States? if everybody applied through the 2026 lottery, must pay regardless of the date, 21 September 2026, which it expires, then they will have to pay. If they say, okay, because your H-1B is valid after 1st October, valid after 1st October 2026, for the people who I'm talking about this 2026, then you don't have to pay. That means you don't have to pay. So very confusing state at the moment, but this is applicable for the 2026 lottery, and anybody other than cap exempt petition, they are filing now till 26th September. Next, who else will be affected? Counselor processing. After 21st September or in the next year lottery, if anyone applying for this counselor process, when they go for a stamping, they will have to pay because they are under the 2025 to 2026 rule. What that counselor process is basically, if you are an OPT this year, right, and you have another 2 years of STEM OPT period, but next year your lottery has picked up and then you wanted to apply for a H-1B petition. Your company has applied for H-1B petition, but your petition is approved, but you do not have to go for a stamping until your actual OPT and STEM OPT period is completed. So that means that H-1B clock is not started. So you still have 6 years of H-1B period that you can claim after your STEM OPT is completed. That is the reason most of the students apply for a counselor processing, because they have enough time to go to stamping and they don't want to waste this period. Once they get into the H-1B straight away, they will lose this STEM OPT period, and then that 6 years of H-1B will be finishing, and then they will have to apply for another extension, obviously 3+3, and then the extension. That is the way. That is the reason actually they will apply for the H-1B as through the consular process, and they will wait for a stamping. So if anybody applying this consular processing after the 21st September 2025 or even in the next year lottery, then these people will be affected, and then you will have to pay 100,000 when you enter back into the country. So, and the next who will be affected is if you are coming through TCS, Wipro, Infosys, if your company want to sponsor your H-1B and you applied in 2026, you will then have to be paying 100,000 when you are coming into the country. And students, mainly the biggest question is for the students. Any students from F1 to H1 in 2026 or after the 21st September. How it is possible after the September 21st? Because that lottery is already finished. Now we can't apply any H-1B. But there are some ways to apply H-1B cap exempt for doctors, for specialized people, or for some professors or research scholars. They will time to time apply H-1B outside of this cap exempt. If any of you moving from F1 to that route as a H1 after the 21st of September 2025 till the 21st of September 2026, in case if they don't extend, you will fall into this route. But if you are in United States, you don't have to pay until you go back and get it stamped and come back. As long as your status is legally valid and your I-94 is valid, you can remain staying in United States so that you don't have, or your employer don't have to pay that 100,000 fees. But once that period is finished, you then have to go for a stamping. They have no choice. I have to go for a stamping. That time onwards, you are entitled to pay this 100K back when you are coming back to United States. So your employer is responsible to pay the 100,000. So I just made a table in here actually. Just follow through the table, pause the video and understand H-1B first time outside USA. Obviously this is all after 21st I'm talking about. Yeah. You are entitled to pay 100,000. First time H-1B, if you are inside the USA, as long as you are in the USA, you are not going to pay it. But once you leave the country and get it stamped and come back, then you are going to pay that 100,000. So the next one, transfer to a new employer. If you are outside USA, obviously you will have to be paying this 100,000. But if you are inside the USA, this transfer to employer will be considered as actually extensions, renewals, transfer to another employee, because you already have your H-1B, right? So they will not consider as this a brand new application. But this is where the biggest question, everybody is confused. If they change the employer, do they treat this as a new petition or an existing petition? As of now, it says even if you change the employer this year, it will not be applicable if you are inside the US. However, you went to India, you lose your job, you then want to find another employer and change your job, you will then have to be entitled to pay that $100,000. Most of the cases, if you are outside India, you will have to pay. And F1 to H1. If anyone filing F1 to H1 in US in the next 12 months, they will then have to pay that, including next year lottery. But if you are applying F1 to H1 from India, which is most cases it doesn't happen because most of them are staying in America, they don't leave. But in case in a family emergency or for some reason your grad master's is finished, you wanted to leave United States, and once you go back to India, you still are on a valid F1 visa. You wanted to apply for a H1. You have a choice to apply through the lottery, but you are selected. Then you will have to pay 100,000 because you are outside United States. When you come back, your employer have to pay 100,000. So whom it doesn't affect. So these people, it's not going to affect existing H1B holders with a valid issued before September 21, 2025. As I said, if anybody getting a new petition after September 21st, obviously they will be affected. And extensions, renewals, these are all considered as normal. So you're not going to pay 100K fees. Amendments to existing, you're not going to pay 100K fees. And current H-1B visa holders traveling in and out, they have no issues. They are not going to pay anything. Happily, you can go back, enjoy your travel, enjoy your family. You can spend time with the family and you come back, they have no problem. And any petition already filed before September 2025. This is a simple thing you have to remember. If your H-1B petition already filed, no matter you are in India or you are in US, you are not going to be affected. And along with that, there are some future impacts. Actually, it's already started yesterday that they are, DHS is introduced a new rule that they are going to scrap the lottery system, and they are now coming up with the new policy. I think I already made that video, which is already available in my channel. If any of you missing that, you can just go back. I'll put the link in the description. You can just go back and open that video and check how the wage levels work and how they're going to pick up the H-1B. And next, Department of Homeland Security rulemaking to prioritize highly skilled, high-paid applications. So that's what I said, highly skilled, high-paid applications. And mainly stronger scrutiny for the people who are on a low wages. And the students are coming out of from the small universities. If you are come out of from the top university, there is a chance of getting a visa high comparative. A person who is coming out of the university for 20 lakhs, 25 lakhs, and they spend only 30, 40 lakhs, they are coming to United States just to make money and earn money working as a part-time, but they are not interested to study and continue their life. So those people will be heavily affected with this wage level rule. And another good news that Trump government releases now, any doctors, physicians and medical residents are likely to be exempt from the 100,000 fee, especially if their employment is considered critical to public health or addresses shortages in undeserved area. So this is again a quick disclaimer that you have to check with your attorney. I'm just going through the news. As per the news, I'm presenting this information. So I'm not an immigration consultant or attorney. So just check with whoever that attorney if you need to know anything. So, but doctors are exempted from this 100K route, means because these doctors can be applied out of the cap. If any doctor is coming to America and they are applying a H1 next month, for example, which is within the 12 months period of the Trump proclamation, they don't have to pay 100K to come into the country because they need for the public safety and public health That is very important for the government. So that is the reason they have exempted these doctors. Okay, friends, this is what I just want to share in this video. Still, there are so many confusions going on at the moment. We don't know is if you transfer your H-1B petition in this 12-month period, will you be affected or not is the biggest question. Please like, share, subscribe to my channel. Thank you and wait for the next video.